be sour. Clap for Hammer the point and feel the power. Yes. Yes, 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 it's Hammer the Point, the best YouTube show about West Ham United. Yeah, that's right. And it features Ray and friends. You got to tune in right now. Everything related to West Ham United is right here on Hammer the Point.
I still smile every time I see it. It's even better now I know that Big E can't do it anymore because WWE have taken them off of Cameo. But tonight, yeah, all of WWE has been taken off, Chris. It's all been taken off. But welcome everyone to Hammer the Point. Today, no Charlie. He's got too much work on, so he's not gracing his presence. But we do have Chris here. How you doing, Chris? You all right, buddy?
Yeah, not too bad. I'm feeling pretty good. So,
anything big happened in the States this week, last week?
Kind of. I'm not going to get into it, though, just because it's a shit show.
I am so happy that I'm in the UK and I get to watch this craziness happen. Dan, my man, how do you feel about the craziness that's happened in the States?
Well, where I deliver is all Trump flags and banners and cars driving around with them on it. So I'm getting a lot of unhappy customers delivering, but I'm English, mate. I don't vote. I don't care. I'm going to be Danny. You're going to be Ray, and he's going to be Chris. We deal with it. We move on, right?
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I love the tweets that are coming out from Trump. It's great. But that's not why we're here, boys. We are here to talk about West Ham United. And there was a little game where we won 1-0 against Fulham. It was crazy. And, how can we not talk about that penalty? Chris, what did you think of the game?
So I'm going to be honest, actually. I was at work. I got to see up until the 80th minute. After the 80th minute, I was on the floor, so I didn't get to see the goal. I had to see it on replays. I didn't see the penalty. I didn't even know until about an hour after the match that there was even a late penalty, let alone how bad it was. So I just saw a bunch of people talking shit about it. I'm just like, what's going on here?
Yeah. Well, what did you think of the game to start off with? Did you think Moyes' tactics was right? Did you think he started the game off okay? What was your views?
So for me, the big takeaway is, holy shit, David Moyes actually knows how to make subs before the 88th minute. That was my big takeaway of the match. Yeah, I mean, holy crap! Can we please do that every time, like every match, like a normal club? But I mean, the tactics seem to be relatively the same, spread throughout. I think we've found a system that works well for us. And I mean, yes, we didn't perform as well against Fulham as we probably would have liked to, considering that they're bottom tier relegation candidate this year. But I think I chalk that more up to personally, like, obviously the first 7 matches just being heavy and hard, and just to pull back on that and going against a lesser opponent, so to speak. It was just probably psychological.
Yeah. Dan, what did you think of the game?
I think with Moyes' tactics, it was always going to be with Antonio missing. It was going to be Haller, unfortunately. I don't think he suits this system. But the mistake we made in the offseason is not bringing in another striker. If Benrahma had been there at club a little bit longer and got a little bit more of cameo appearance, I think he would have started that game, just with Haller's confidence being shot. But I think Moyes got it right. Again, don't change a team that's been doing good. We didn't perform too good against Liverpool, but that's Liverpool. And, going into this game, it's going to be a different kind of game because we're expected to possess the ball rather than to defend and counter against who we've been playing. First 10 minutes, I thought we looked really bright. Should have been up 2-3-0. Goalie's made some great saves. And I'm thinking immediately, this is either going to be one of those days where it's 0-0 or we're going to put one in and the floodgates are going to open. Fulham looked dangerous on the counter-attack. They didn't look like a bottom team, but I think that we helped them not look like a bottom team. They run the midfield completely. Kearney had a blinder. I think that's a difficult game, but West Ham would have lost that or got nothing out of that. Maybe a point last season. And that penalty, I mean, if we're West Ham and we're taking that penalty, we're absolutely slating Lookman for that. We're bonkers. And you're a team that's going to be needing every single point you can get this season. You're expected to go back down, put the goalkeeper through the net with that penalty. You can't do that. That's taking a piss out of West Ham when he tries to do that as well. That was miserable. Yeah. That's probably the worst penalty I've ever seen in my life, honestly. And I've seen some bad ones. That was miserable.
What was you saying, Chris?
I mean, you saw the video afterwards, like Fabianski just basically telling him to piss off, like screaming at him, like he felt disrespected in a penalty attempt like that. Watching it though, it's kind of funny. It was almost so bad, Allaire couldn't recover from it, like couldn't recover and get to it. So it was almost so bad that it actually worked.
Yeah.
Well, you think as well, that's Mitrovic is their first choice penalty taker, and he missed one against Sheffield United. So this guy wants to take responsibility now. Why on earth do you do a penalty like that? If we're doing a watch along and we're Fulham fans, I wouldn't have a phone. You know, like I wouldn't have a phone, I wouldn't have a laptop, it would be fucking shattered. That is so miserable. And off topic, I bet on the game. I did a 5-team parlay and West Ham was the last team in my parlay. So when they scored, I don't know if you saw the videos on my Facebook, I got the twins and we were doing the Irons chant and then 2 minutes later, I was sitting there shouting at the kids, like, sit down, calm down, it's a penalty. And they saved it and picking the kids up again, saying Irons, and now they're scared of me. So I got mixed reactions at the end of that game.
Well, my views on the game. So to start off with, he started off with the same team that's been playing for the last 2 games. And there's been other fan channels, especially Gonzo, turned around and said, he might play the new guy instead of Fornals because he's a new toy and all that kind of stuff. But I was kind of happy he stuck by Fornals this time and didn't bring on Benrahma because it shows that, if you're playing well, you stay in the team, you get that opportunity. We're not just going to throw you out because the new toys arrived. So I'm kind of happy with his management of that. And I've been quite critical of some of the decisions that David's taken on Moisey with what he's doing with the team and his formations. But I thought he's actually played it quite blinder. I felt the game was going to be a really tricky one for us anyway because it is a bottom of the team. They're going to be scrapping. They're going to be defending. There's going to be 11 behind the ball. So we're going to have to use all our creative talents and have all our manpower to get the goals. So I thought it was always going to be a difficult game. But we started off really strong. I was kind of buzzing. And then, Fulham started getting back into it. And I was actually, for the first 45 minutes, it was I was just saying, it was a good 45-minute game for, especially if you're neutral. I've not seen a game like that where it's been 0-0 and it's been quite attacking both ends. I don't mind it, even if it is against West Ham. I like a good attacking football. So we went in at half time, come out, and we started off again. We started bashing them down the doors. We started to get into it, and then Fulham started to get back involved in back and forth. And then I think it was Mitrovic and O'Connor had a little bit of a scrappy bit in the second half, just as he's got his yellow card as well. Do you remember who that was that he used to? I think it was Mitrovic.
It was Mitrovic and Ogbonna. Mitrovic pushed him into Fabianski. Mitrovic is one of those players you want to wind him up because, I don't know if you saw it as well. There was a video on the Fulham post-match pint when Ogbonna went off injured. Mitrovic went up to him and laughed in his face. I don't remember where I saw the link, but that's the type of guy Mitrovic is. That's He's an animal.
So, and then it looked like Moyes was going to make a substitution on the 60th minute. And what's happened? O'Connor goes down injured. Now, he went off. So this is something I've been wanting to talk to everyone about, and I want to get your opinions on it. O'Connor went off seemed like it was an injury, and he walked straight off down the tunnel. And he seemed really angry. Now, the way I looked at it, and I could be wrong because I've heard some other things that could justify why he was really upset and angry. But I thought he lost it in his head a little bit, and that's why he got the yellow card, and he was fighting with Mitrovic. I thought he just had a mental breakdown in his head, and that's why he just sat down and was like, I need to get off before I get sent off. Now, there's the other thing that he's been called up from Italy. He's got an injury, and that's the other reason why he was upset and is disappointed. So I can see both sides of the story. But what did you got, Chris? What did you think of that? Do you think it's an injury, or do you reckon it's a bit more mental? Or?
I think it's a little bit of everything. I think he's a very animated player to begin with, so he doesn't hide away from what he thinks. His body language usually shows how he's feeling, and I mean, we've been playing well. He's been playing exceptionally well for quite some time now. He gets called up to the Italian team, and he gets injured. I think that anyone would break under that. I mean, everything's going well, and then potentially something just disastrous like that occurs. I mean, yeah, that's going to piss you off to the point where you need to take a breath. You need to take a walk. You need some air. So I don't think it's anything more than that. I don't think it was anything. And fortunately now, I mean, it doesn't seem like the injury is going to be too bad. Plus, he walked off under his own power. But, I mean, you still never know. And, I mean, he's been out of the Italian team for a while. So, I mean, that probably does weigh heavily on that as well.
Yeah. Dan, what did you think of that? Did you think it was a bit more serious, or it's so saying that he's going to be back in the temple then?
I think it's an injury, honestly. I don't think Ogbonna's a professional. He's been around a long time. I don't think he's the type that would let Mitrovic get under his skin. When Mitrovic got up, if you saw the incident, he pushed Ogbonna. Ogbonna just kind of looked at the ref and walked away. Again, we're tying 0-0 there in a kind of a must-win game. Ogbonna, my thing is, you don't want to lose your spot in the team. You've got a system that works there. I think it was irritation to feeling a knock that he's just walked off down the tunnel. And me, playing football in my life, there's been times I felt something go, and before it gets worse, you just, something's going to happen. So I don't think it's, he's in his 30s, he's an experienced player, experienced international. I don't think it's anything to do with Mitrovic. I think it is actually a knock. But again, I don't think it's a bad thing that he came off. Hopefully injury's not too bad, but Mitrovic is one of those guys that will get in your head and, maybe give you an elbow off the ball or something like that. So we have, I won't say a good defender, I'll say a decent defender in Diop that can replace him. And Ogbonna, if you remember, when Diop and Balbuena came in, lost his place for a very long time. I don't think that Ogbonna, who has been, in my opinion, one of our best players in the last 2 years, would go off and risk losing his spot unless there was something actually wrong.
I actually like Vernon's comment here too.
I was just about to bring it up. Yeah, and I think it was. I hope it was, because it shows that we've got a leader in the team. But yeah, so brilliant. Yeah, absolutely amazing, and he's been playing well so far. So then we move on. He brings Diop on for Ogbonna, which I think is a right decision, a decision that I would have made if I was the manager. So I'm agreeing with Moyes. I don't know what's going on with me. I'm agreeing with Moyes. His substitution tactic. 5 minutes later, he was trying to bring on Benrahma, but the ball just wouldn't go out of play. So then another 5 minutes. Didn't it? Yeah, it just seemed like it went on for ages. The ball, every time the ball did go out of play, it was in an attacking area, so it couldn't bring him on just yet. And then he decided, fuck it, I'll just bring Lanzini on as well. Cool. So yeah, I was just excited by Moyes doing these early substitutions. I don't know if he's listening to us on the show. Is he watching this? Moisey, morning. Are you watching it?
If he was.
Yeah, that would be legendary. Make a comment down below. So yeah, I was agreeing with everything he was doing. I thought the gameplay was. I thought it was going to finish on a 0-0, but then Benrahma comes in, cuts in. He gets to the near post, has 2 double shots. Should have passed it and got a little bit of a telling off by Haller, which I like. I'm going to go on more on Haller in a minute. And then later on, a couple of minutes later, he gets into the box, squares it to Solskjaer, and he just fires it in the back of the net. Someone that hasn't been playing at all game, but he got us the goal. And then we move on to the penalty last minute. Benrahma gave away a penalty. Very soft penalty. I hate these penalties. Don't agree with them. You know, Mo Salah, and I'm in Liverpool. What a because he jumped over, you know, little touch and he fell over. The same with this one, little touch, not even a force. He just fell over. Just went down like a sad of spuds. I hated it. So I was kind of happy. I feel sorry for the lad. I do feel sorry for the lad because, you know, if you take a penalty like that, you have got to finish. Otherwise, you're not taking a penalty for a long, long time.
Yeah, I wouldn't put him on a penalty ever again.
No, you know, and he tried it. He's learned the lesson. Like the funniest thing, and I was just saying this to Charlie the other day, is that it was so slow and so poor that Fabianski dived, got back up, and then put his hand out to catch the ball. It was that slow. It was crazy. But it was hilarious. But yeah, yeah, crazy. We could go on for this penalty for ages, but yeah, it was amazing. What did you think of the goals, Chris? Did you see the goal?
Only on the replay. Very good. I mean, wasn't here's the thing. So I'm going to relate this to the NFL real quick. I'm a Steelers fan. Pittsburgh Steelers are 8-0. Almost none of our wins have ever been good. They've all been like ugly wins. Yeah, but a win's a win. And that's the same kind of philosophy I take with these kind of matches. Like, it doesn't matter. I mean, it wasn't the cleanest of games. It wasn't the prettiest of games. But in the end, we got the 3 points. The goal was well worked. I mean, it was – I love Souček. I think that he's arguably – I mean, for me, I think he's bigger. He's a better signing. I don't know. Has there ever been a consensus of who is a better signing between Souček and Bowen? Because for me, it's Souček.
I don't know. I'm a bit biased, so I'm going to pick Bowen.
Fair enough. I think Souček is the player that we've needed for years. So I'm more than happy with his performances. He didn't have the greatest of matches leading up to that, but as long as you put it away, that doesn't matter.
Yeah, I agree, because I think, you know, you're not going to win every game pretty, and you're not going to lose every game pretty. Like, we need a bad performance to scrape through it so we can then, you know, get all this crap passes, all the bad crosses out of our system. I don't know. What did you think, Dan?
I'm definitely going to no, I'm not going to definitely disagree. I'm going to kindly disagree with Chris on Souček being better than Bowen. And I'm going to disagree with one thing that you said, Ray, as well. Bowen needs to stay on the field. He needs to stay on the field. It's too early in a game that's 0-0, a guy that can change a game, make something happen. Pacey gets up and down the field. I would have took Haller off for Benrahma. He's not an out-and-out striker, but his stats don't lie for last season. Benrahma come in and changed the game, got on the ball. I don't like that he didn't square the ball to Haller, but I like that his confidence was there to take a player on and do what he does, basically. Yeah, he missed, but he made up for it with the assist. I didn't see the assist coming. As soon as he got the ball, I'm sitting there thinking, shoot, and then he squares it. Souček, who's probably our worst player on the day, that's what he does. He reminds me of Marouane Fellaini. There's not a lot of comparison there. Good in the air, very slow player, very laggy, tall, but he's a good player. And I think that he looks so good, and no disrespect to Noble, but he looks so good because he's come in and taken Noble's place, and West Ham look like more of a team now. He's got a better relationship with Rice, I feel like. He's got the legs that Noble doesn't have. But I think, if there's someone you want to pop up in that spot that's still on the field, I think Souček is the right man for that. So I think he done great to get in the position. My blood pressure was probably out the roof by that stage, but that, like I said earlier, that just shows that we've come a long way because we wouldn't have won that game last season.
No. I'm kind of happy the way we played and the way we won. It was scrappy and all that kind of stuff. So we now move on to the international break. But before we do, Chris, what did you think of Moyes' game plan? Because I'm very critical of his game plan. I think he starts the game very well and gets the team organised and all that kind of stuff, but he doesn't know how to play the actual game as it is. But this time, I feel like he's sort of growing in his role. I kind of almost like him, Moyes. I didn't like Moyes to start off with. Scaring me.
Yeah, I think he said it perfectly that he starts the game well. I mean, everything is organized. I think the key for us usually is to get the first goal, and then we kind of can sit back a little bit. I think going goalless that long puts us more at a risk just because we're going to try and overcommit and they're going to hit us on the counter. So that's always worrying. But the big thing for me is, like I mentioned earlier, that Moyes doesn't know how to finish out a match. He doesn't know how to change things up with substitutions. I mean, granted, he was forced into an Ogbonna substitution, but fair play for actually going for it and putting on two attacking players towards the end, but with enough time to actually make the impact. I think that's my biggest critique with Moyes, is that he just doesn't know how to change things. He's very stubborn. He wants like the starting 11 to do it, and he doesn't want to have to change things. So the fact that he's actually kind of conceded and actually made the substitutions was obviously the right call and paid off.
What's your? Are you warming to Moyes, or have you been a Moyes fan for ages? Or are you still unsure?
Me?
Yeah.
I right now Moyes deserves an extension. If he continues like this, he absolutely hands down deserves an extension. For me, one thing I've said a couple times too is it seems like the players want Moyes. Right now, I'd take what the players want over what the fans want. I mean, Moyes isn't the best manager, obviously, but he's getting the most out of the players, and they're actually fighting for him. So, and they're organized, they're disciplined, they're fit. I mean, who knows what happens if we bring in another manager? So right now, Moyes definitely deserves an extension.
Yeah, I think I'm agreeing with you, Chris. I'm shocking myself here. Dan, did you even see that David Moyes went to the Arsenal versus Aston Villa game as well?
I did. I think that's the kind of commitment we want to see as fans. We want to see our manager there. He's obviously not there scouting. He knows we play Villa shortly. I also think he's going to those games to see what Arsenal are doing different against other teams. Not that Arsenal matters. We only play them twice a season. We've already lost to them. But I think managers take into consideration what other managers are doing. Arsenal are a very attack-minded team, kind of like us. We don't have any pace in our team. I feel like every time West Ham play a lower position team, it's going to be harder. It's going to be like a breakdown game. And I always think, will this lineup break down a team like Fulham? And you think in the first 10 minutes it's going to, but I think that Moyes has got his tactics spot on. And I never, ever would have said Cresswell was a centre-back. But I think Cresswell has been our best player this season. I would
He's
never in a million years, if you tell me that you're going to put Cresswell at centre back instead of Diop when Diop's fit, and you're going to put Masuaku on the field at the same time. We've been talking for years about we need a left back. None of them can defend. You put them both together, our left side looks dangerous because Cresswell doesn't sit back there. Our left side, I mean, Masuaku gets a little bit of freedom to go forward. And if he doesn't go forward, Cresswell does, and Masuaku kind of slots in. And that's working for us. And we've got Fornals, who I give him a lot of shit because I was always a fast player. I was always kind of like a Bowen. You know, like my legs got to move. Fornals, it looks like he's struggling to get back. And even though he's sprinting, it just looks like he's slow. But he works his ass off. So I think that left side is working for us. That Kufel's a good addition. A lot of people complain there's panic buys, 5 mil. The GSB's just doing it to do it and say we did something. But Kufel's working in there as well. I think the whole system is great right now. Souček and Rice have got a good understanding. Keeping Rice past January is probably going to be the most key talking point all season that we deal with. We keep Rice in there, and we work with this formation. I think we're definitely a top 10 team this season, and I'd like to think top 8 pushing Europe. I don't know that we're Europe yet because the league is so good right now. Even Aston Villa are looking like a proper team now. But I think the system's working. I think everything's looking how it should, and I think Moyes gets the extension based on coming back after this international break. We've got Sheffield United and Aston Villa. Those are the games where you kind of look and think, well, are we going to get anything out of that? So West Ham would lose to Sheffield United last season because Sheffield United haven't won a game yet. But this season, I think we're positive.
2020 is weird. That the fact that we started talking about how we were going to be a relegation candidate, probably go down, how we had no depth whatsoever, and so far we really haven't had to tap into that any like backup players, knock on wood. But and then one of our biggest complaints was that we don't have a good left back or right back. Now we have Kufal, we have Masuaku, we have Cresswell, even Fredericks when he was playing well. I mean, everything is just ticking, and it's weird. And now, like you said, Sheffield United, who was a dominant side last year, and now this year they haven't won a damn thing. Like, everything is so backwards. But with Danny made a good
as well.
What's that?
I said Burnley as well. Even Burnley looks shocking this season, you know?
Yeah. But granted, they have a takeover coming on, which those bastards I wish we had.
So did Newcastle last year for about 6 months, and that still hasn't happened. So I don't listen to those takeovers.
I believe it was canceled. But you made a very good point with the Rice, as well. I think December is going to be a key month for our season because guaranteed we're giving Declan Rice or we're offering him a new contract. If Chelsea does have the funds, he basically gets to determine his path. He gets to decide if he wants to stay with West Ham for the foreseeable future on a probably £120,000 a week contract, and you don't know where you're going to go from there, but you're at a club that everyone loves you and you get consistent playing time as well as England call-ups, or you go Chelsea and you're playing in Europe and potentially not as many minutes. So he gets to decide here in a matter of few weeks where he goes.
Can I add on to what you're saying there, Chris, as well?
Yeah.
If he goes to Chelsea, he goes as a centre back. That's what Lampard wants him to do. And that game this season against Everton where he played centre back, he's not a centre back. I think he's coming out often saying he loves the fans, he loves the relationship, this, that, and the other. I think he's on 35,000. He's had a couple of contract talks for more money. I think it shows how wanted you are when we kind of double and triple your wages and say, here's 120,000. You're 21, 22 years old. We've given you the captaincy to lead this club. What do you want to do with it? Do you want to be faithful? Do you want to be loyal? Do you want to be known as a legend to this team? Or do you want to go and chase trophies for a team where you're going to play 60, 70 minutes, or you're going to play out of position? Or, I think he's happy, honestly. And I think as long as we keep performing, he's not going to go anywhere. I think he's where he wants to be.
Didn't Southgate say in an interview that he thinks Rice is very happy at West Ham?
Yes, he did. And I think he is.
Yeah.
But he's a young kid also. I played for the same team for 8 years, and I was very happy. And then I woke up one day and was like, "Fuck this! I'm going to go play local to where my mum lived." It's one of those things. Money talks in football.
Yeah.
And he's got a lot of friends at Chelsea, and his family's Chelsea fans, and it's going to be very hard to keep him. But I think if we keep performing and doing what we want to do, keep giving him the captain's armband, because I think that's his for the long term now. I think Noble's completely gone. He can't even get in the squad anymore. I think that's the key. Moyes made the right decision giving Rice the captain's armband instead of Ogbonna, in my opinion. And that's
I agree.
Faithfulness to him, So and he deserves it. Honestly, he's a great player.
And obviously, too, I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, the captaincy isn't everything. I mean, everyone can be a leader. Anyone can be a leader on that team. You have Noble, who's a leader, even when he's on the bench. You have Ogbonna and Rice, who are both leaders while on the pitch. Same with Fabianski. So, I mean, the captaincy is just a way to show, yes, we believe in you and we want you here for sure.
But they're giving it to someone who is a junior compared to Ogbonna and Fabianski. They're giving it to someone with less experience, and they're saying, okay, let's see what you can do. Can you motivate these players and kick them up the arse? And you'll see every game, he is like lifting people, shouting at them, organizing. He is, for his age, he is a class player. He's a class person. And, we're not going to be mad at him if he leaves. We can't be. He's done so much for this club in such a short time. But it shows a lot of faith from Moyes to give the armband to Rice. And I'm delighted about it.
I think Rice will leave like the right way as well. He won't move. He won't do anything like that. He will go. He will send a lovely little message to the fans, and we'll be mopping it up. And then he'll come back. He'll be playing against us, and he'll do the cross outside and give us a clap, and we'll love him even more. It's just Rice. He's just a lovable soul. You just can't not love him. But Dan, you made a great point about Cresswell. He's playing out of his skin. Just when you write Cresswell off, he comes back at a vengeance. But I am worried that he's going to get found out by the other managers saying, right, tall striker, back post on Cresswell, and you'll be able to get a goal. Because I think
that's what Fulham tried to do, yeah.
Yeah, and I think the managers are going to start working harder at doing that for games, because you can see just by Harry Kane getting in front of him, and like Cresswell's got no chance of getting this Kane. Arguably one of the best strikers around at the moment. But I think that's what I do worry about is, come later in the season, halfway through plus, Cresswell's going to get found out of that back post. Great attacking, just defensively, height-wise. It's only a small portion of the game as well, but it's a big portion with the corners with just crosses into the box. Does kind of worry me. So I kind of hope we do or are looking for someone else to fill them shoes. And we've got Cresswell, who can come on as a sub, as a centre back or a left back, either or. Depends on, a lot of different options, because we have still got one of the smallest squads in the Premier League. Let's talk about Haller. Haller. Chris, what did you think of Haller?
So one of the things after the Liverpool match that Tom and I were talking about in our post-match show was that, Tom, if you want someone to talk about Haller, I mean, Tommy is not a fan of him. Tommy is not a fan of Haller whatsoever. He doesn't think that he fits in whatsoever. He thinks he's lazy. And to a large degree, I don't necessarily disagree. I hear the arguments of, yes, we're not getting him the service he needs, but at the same time, he's a professional football player who's worth 45 million pounds. We shouldn't be adapting to you. You should be adapting to the system you're in. That's kind of my opinion on things. I don't see it. Just doesn't see him. I don't see him necessarily doing enough at times. Tommy and I kind of said after the Liverpool match that Fulham would be the last kind of test for us, or one of the last, if not the last. And I mean, he had a meh game. I mean, it wasn't amazing. It wasn't terrible. So we kind of postpone judgment, so to speak. But I mean, it's for me, the jury's still out.
Yeah. Dan, what do you think of Haller?
Try and sum it up nicely. No, he doesn't fit the system. He doesn't fit the system. He doesn't fit the system. For us to sit here and say he's not getting the service, Cresswell is number 3 in the league for assists right now. Cresswell's number 4 in the league for crosses put into the box this season. No, he's not been starting, but I mean, you're a professional footballer. If you have to make a team adjust to play to your one strength to change everything that's been working, you're not good enough. I mean, I'm sorry, but I'm not going to say he's a waste of money, but he's a one-trick pony. He can hold the ball up and he can head the ball. He's got no pace to him. He scores tap-ins if it's up with his feet. He just sell him. Just fucking sell him. He's useless. He's like Anderson. Lazy, overpaid, and too big for West Ham in his own fucking mind. Nope, not for me.
And I wasn't laughing at you. I don't know if you can hear us on the screen, but my neighbours are having sex upstairs. I can hear it.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
Please let me off. It sounds like unbelievable. So we've got thin walls here, so you're doing a good job out there.
You sure he's not plunging in the toilet?
I want to hear what I want
in the toilet upstairs.
Back to you.
Just start singing "I'm Forever Blowing Bubbles."
We can all cheer him on the live stream.
Oh God.
So, Haller, I can't agree with everything you guys say. However, I see him a lot more animated during this game. He seemed a bit more frustrated with the passes. I kind of like that, and I kind of like him having a go at it. And I think that's one of the reasons why Benrahma crossed the balls on the second occasion and not the first one, is because he got told off on the first one. It's like, I'm in, cross, get the ball to me, I'll finish it. So then he looks over on the next time, sees Souček, and then pass it and gets a goal. And I think that's kind of what he did on that one. So anyway, I kind of like it. And that brings me on to my point. Fornals didn't have the best of the game. He worked hard, but he didn't have the best game. So do we see Sheffield United game, Benrahma coming into the team and replacing Fornals? Chris, what do you reckon?
I give Fornals one more match. Personally, I mean, he's been playing out of his mind this season, so I mean, one match isn't going to be the determinant. One bad match, he's like you said, he still works his ass off. So yeah, yeah, for me, I give Fornals another match.
Over there.
Yeah, I give Fornals one more match before we even consider putting Benrahma as the starter.
Okay, Dan, what do you reckon?
I drop Haller and change the front three completely. I think Benrahma comes in. I don't know who goes up top. I think maybe you.
Well, Antonio should be in the Sheffield game.
Yeah, but Antonio is the kind of player. Is he gets an injury? How many times have we seen him injured? I think that unless he shows during this break that he's fit, I think Moyes does. I don't think Moyes starts him. I think that Bowen and Benrahma should switch throughout the game, free roll type of thing for who plays striker. We're not Spain, but it works for Spain in a false nine. I think give Sheffield United something different to think about. Benrahma and Bowen are both going to work a lot fucking harder than Haller. They're not going to stand in the middle and wait for a ball and stand there with like they've fucking got soap in their mouth and can't smile. They're going to work. So
I'm not having sex on the stream.
Haller does not fit in that system.
Right, so I'm going to be very controversial here because I think Haller should stay in the team. And I think we should bring in Benrahma into the squad. So we have the BHB strike force of Benrahma, Haller, and Bowen all attacking. And what I think will happen, I think you will see them, Benrahma and Bowen, getting closer to Haller. And that's what's going to make him play a lot better because, you know, this is the way he played a lot better with Frankfurt and what made them one of the most hardest teams to play against in the championship. So I'm kind of excited to see that. And I think it's a bit harsh on Fornals. And I think
I don't think he'll drop him.
I kind of hope he does because I think I would like to see that. He may not. He might just bring Antonio back in as, you know, you may think, and put it back. But I'd just like to see that. And again, as I say, I think it's hard on Fornals because I think I don't think he's done a bad job, to be fair.
Are we at home or away?
I can find.
I think we're away, but
We are away.
They're going to have more.
We are away.
Okay, so Sheffield United are going to have more possession than us. That's just how it is, the West Ham way. They're going to have more possession than us. So then, my question is, who's going to work harder? Who's going to work behind the ball to get in position? Who's going to be better on the counter attack? Who's going to be a team player kind of thing? And in that instant, I think, okay, I choose Fornals over Benrahma. But then who's going to work harder out of Benrahma and Haller if Antonio's not fit? And I think Benrahma. So why
Do you
not
reckon
give Benrahma a start?
Do you reckon they're going to come at us? Or do you reckon they're going to be sitting back and holding up for the draw?
Sheffield United.
Yeah.
I mean, they haven't won a game all season. You only have a certain amount of games you can play. There's only a certain amount of points that you can win. That we couldn't beat them last season. They'll look at this as a game, well, we haven't really changed our team much. We haven't really brought too many players in. Why not have a go at West Ham? We're one of those teams where we look at Fulham as a game that we can get points. Well, Sheffield United might look at West Ham as a game they can get points. So I think they're definitely, as the home team, the objective for them is to attack. And that might work into our favor. It's worked into our favor against many of the bigger teams that we've played this season, besides Arsenal, you know? So I'm all for it. It's going to be an open game. The Fulham game was exciting. As a neutral, as a West Ham fan, I'm shitting myself, but those are the type of games that the Premiership's about, you know, spread open. Midfield is going to be a key battle.
I'm just looking back here, too, with Sheffield United's matches. They've actually had a decent run in terms of, like, difficulty. I mean, in October, they played Arsenal, Liverpool, and City. And now they've played Chelsea. I didn't realize how hard of a I mean, they're basically what we thought we were going to be in the first 7.
But Sheffield United are the type of team that have been found out. Last year, they were new to the league, and they had a good – it's kind of like Burnley this season. Burnley do the same fucking shit. They kick the ball long to Barnes and Wood, and it works. Sheffield United, they've got a few players like Lundstrom and Egan right now that are refusing to sign contract extensions. I think they know that Sheffield United is on the downward spiral.
Yeah.
So I think it's just
we're
noticing teams being found out.
But looking at more statistics from Sheffield, they've only scored 4 goals this season, second lowest only to Burnley, but they've conceded 14.
They'll score 4 against West Ham then.
Yeah.
They'll score 4 against West Ham then. You know.
As long as we score 5, I don't care.
Okay, fuck.
4 of those were against Chelsea this past match as well. They lost to Chelsea 4-1. So, I mean, yeah, they're going to try and attack. I mean, they have not been successful this season in the ways of attacking. So, I mean, if we start with an attitude of we need to go take it to them, we could probably get a very good result out of this. We should, I should say.
Do you know what I honestly think the most important thing about a West Ham game is? And think about it when I say it. The first goal in West Ham games is so fucking important. Because if we score it, Moyes, if you notice, he kind of sits back. He changes, which is something I don't like as a former footballer. Why change it? If we score a goal and we're doing something that works, excuse me, why then sit back? I don't think we're good enough. You look at our three centre-backs, it's working as a centre-back. But I instantly, after we scored against Fulham, as soon as Fulham got that corner, I said, it's going to be 1-1 here. Something's going to happen. We're not good enough that we can score the first goal and drop back. I don't think, in Tottenham, barring Tottenham where we went behind an Arsenal and we got a reaction, I just think that West Ham have to get the first goal in games. Otherwise, the entire game is just, we don't offer enough going forward, I don't think, unless we're on the counter attack. Do you guys think any differently to that, or is that like just me thinking that?
What did you think, Chris?
Ask this again.
Do you think that it's super key in West Ham games for us to get the first goal? And do you agree that Moyes sits back and allows the other team to pressure?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Just before you answer, Chris, what do you reckon Spurs fans will say to that?
I don't. For us,
they're not happy still.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, it is absolutely crucial for us. I mean, I'd love to see the statistics, but I do not believe that we've gotten hardly any points after conceding the first match or the first goal of a match, at least under Moyes. So, I mean, yes, it is. I mean, any match, the first goal is critical. But for West Ham especially, because like you said, yeah, we sit back. Plus, you add in the fact that Moyes is so apprehensive to make substitutions, especially offensive, attacking substitutions. I mean, we need that because we don't know what Moyes is going to do towards the end of the match. Is he going to bring on the right substitutions in a good enough time, or is he going to substitute down 2-1? Is he going to substitute in Lanzini in the 89th minute or something like that?
Yeah.
What do you think, Ray? I'm interested to see what you think also.
I do think, it does. I think he's changing. I think he's growing as a manager as more games we play. I'm seeing a slight change of Moyes with different games. So I think it'd be more the team more than anything else. If we score early in the first half, they then look to defend that lead and then get in at half.
A perfect example.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's just I see Moyes. I just see him changing it up as each game goes along, and it's a development. I'm excited to see how far it goes. So I agree to start off with, but I can see it changing. Then how many teams will get to a 1 and 2 goal lead and then start defending for their lives, for instance?
They're able to defend though.
Yeah. Yeah, we're kind of strong.
The only reason we have a positive goal difference right now is because of the Leicester and Wolves game. It's the only reason. I mean, every other game has been close. Yeah, they were great. I still think that Tottenham game is our best result this season. I think we lose that game and we're negative going into the next game. But we're on a fucking up after coming back from 3-0 down. Shocking first 15 minutes, but I think that game has basically summed up West Ham so far this season. That there's a lot of fight in us, like Bulldogs this year, ready to bite your balls off.
Yep, we're not to be trifled with. I mean, you don't know what West Ham you're going to get. So, or is it going to be the submissive team that just lets you roll all over them, or are they going to are we going to batter you 6-7-0? I was talking about this. I've been talking about this for a good bit. I mean, you look at it. Last year, we were being touted for potentially breaking into the top 6 with the squad that we had. We got rid of the deadwood, added the likes of Jared Bowen, Souček, Soufal, and Benrahma, and Fornals even. And, I mean, no one's really talking about us. I mean, we're starting to get some conversations now because of our good run of form. But, I mean, we're kind of going in with no expectations, no one really knowing what we're like. So, I mean, that could play very well to our advantage, that people kind of underestimate us, and we have no pressure. And then we can just go out and kick ass.
Yeah.
Graham Souness and Jamie Carragher have both said that West Ham are a top 6 team this season. And even Roy Keane, fucking hell, Roy Keane has said that West Ham should be battling for Europe. Roy fucking Keane doesn't say anything positive about any team besides Man United. Said that West Ham are a good team this year. That's positivity. I like that.
It's 2020, and until the Man City Liverpool match just the other day, West Ham were above Man City, and Southampton were on the top of the table 8 matches in. We have no idea what the hell is going on. Villa beat Liverpool 7-2.
I love it.
Yeah, I
love it.
It's incredible, but I mean, it's true. Like, I mean, West Ham could battle for top 6. We could stay 10th. I mean, we don't know.
Do you guys think in the top of your head right now? Okay, so last season, 30 games in, we had a mindset of who was going to get relegated, who was going to be battling for relegation. We're like 8 games in now. Can you sit there and tell me any 3 teams that are going to go down this season? Because I think this season is wide open. That it's just crazy. This is honestly, as a football fan before a West Ham fan, this is the most exciting start to a season, even without fans, that I think I've experienced.
Yeah,
and maybe because we weren't supposed to get anything.
Yeah, you introduce fans back into that equation. I mean, this is touting to be one of the best seasons of all time.
It's nuts. It's crazy. I love
it. To answer your question, though.
Yeah, who do you think is going to go down?
If right now, thinking of it. Oh, yeah.
I'm going to remember this conversation.
Yeah, 2020. Man United, 8 matches in, is in 14th. Right now.
Before they get a new manager. Come
on. Right now, I think if I were to put money, I'd say Fulham, West Brom, and Sheffield.
Ooh. I'm actually going to agree with Chris. That's the way I had.
Let me pull this up because
I would go Fulham, West Brom, and Burnley.
Before the season started, on September 12th, I wrote down just in my notes my predictions, and I had Villa, West Brom, and Fulham. I had West Ham though finishing 16th, which I mean that's a little. Right, I'd be very with that right now.
The West Ham way is we'll probably finish 16th, though.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And we'll be so pissed off, we'll forget the first 8 games completely. We'll lose our last 3, finish 16th, and forget that we drew against Tottenham and City. And
I mean, last year we were battling for 3rd pretty 8 or right around this time, 8 to 10 matches in, we were battling for 3rd place, and then just.
Yeah, that is true.
That was a cute noise, Chris. Can you do that again? Oh, look at him. That sounds like Ray's neighbors.
Are they still going?
Well, if I'm totally honest, it didn't last that long by the sounds of things. So,
That's why you were laughing. You know your neighbor.
Bless him. But thank you very much, guys. That brings it to the end of the show. Thank you for everyone in the chat. Don't forget to give us a little cheeky like, give us a cheeky subscribe. Go to our website, buy some t-shirts, buy some merchandise. You know, we got loads of good things on there. Don't see a Hammer the Point t-shirt on there yet. I'm very upset about this. Very upset about it.
It'll be coming soon, I imagine.
Yeah, it has to be. It has to be. I might cheekily buy one myself. I should get a discount, Tim, if you're watching. But yeah, thank you very much, Chris. Thank you very much, Dan. Thank you for everyone in the chat. We will see you next time. Come on, you irons.